Good evening. It's a new week, but we still have one more game left in week 11 of the 2020 NFL season with a matchup between the Los Angeles Rams and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Yesterday, we had a couple games that were pretty good, with others being, not so good. Today, we're going to talk about a couple different things from the games that took place yesterday. So, are you ready to get your fix? Well, let's get started with the Cincinnati Bengals, who took on the Washington football team. Now, I bring this game up even though it was a bad one because the Bengals suffered a devastating loss to their offense. At the start of the second half of the third quarter, the Bengals offense faced third down with 2 yards to go, where Joe Burrow would drop back to pass, where he did get that ball off, but took a sickening, just awful hit to the leg. Now, this hit wasn't on purpose at all. I think the lineman would have hit him higher, but the offensive lineman pushed him lower, which caused him to go directly into Joe Burrow's knee in a gruesome injury. A couple minutes after Joe was actually carted off the field, the Bengals ruled him out for the rest of the season. It was just confirmed that he has a torn ACL, which was a no-brainer. If you've seen the hit, this was a big deal, okay? This injury gives the Bengals little to no hope for the rest of the season. With Joe Burrow at quarterback, you can at least put up a fight to win a game, okay? But now I don't think this Bengals team will win a single game the rest of the season. Now, Joe finished his rookie season yesterday throwing 65.3%, 2,688 passing yards, 13 touchdowns, 5 interceptions, and then a quarterback rating of 89.8. Now, this would obviously be a little better, but with where we are now, these are some pretty decent stats, okay? I would have liked to see at least 4 to 5 more touchdowns on this stat line, but hey, I liked every minute of what I seen from Joe Burrow this entire year, and he will be back and healthy at the start of next season, so we'll get to see just how much Joe Burrow has grown as an NFL quarterback. So let's switch gears to the Minnesota Vikings, who hosted the Dallas Cowboys. Now, looking at the offensive stats from Kirk Cousins, Dalvin Cook, Adam Thielen, and Justin Jefferson, I have no clue how the Vikings lost this game. They literally just gave it up. Andy Dalton feasted on that Vikings defense and drove down the field at will, 24-28 in the fourth quarter, with the Vikings having a chance to drive and close out a win, but they ended up giving the ball right back, which led to a Dalton Schultz touchdown, which was wide open, and then that was the game. Now, this should be a game the Vikings win, especially with how atrocious the Cowboys have been this entire season. I will say one thing, though. Justin Jefferson is in second place for Rookie of the Year, right behind Justin Herbert, who is just plain and simple going off this year. So, awful game from the Minnesota Vikings. I feel like they just kind of gave that game to the Cowboys when they should have won. But Justin Jefferson, he's unreal. He's probably he is the best rookie receiver in this 2020 class. So moving over to the Saints, in which they decided to give Taysom Hill the starting job, and guess what? They got the win 24-9 over the Atlanta Falcons. The Saints offense moved a little slower than normal, but they were still able to put the Falcons away thanks to their defense, where they had 8 sacks and 2 interceptions, which ultimately helped Taysom Hill get the win. Taysom Hill actually played some pretty decent football and actually played better than I thought he would. He went 18 for 23 with 233 yards and also ran the ball 10 times for a team-high 51 yards and 2 touchdowns. Okay, this is exactly what we're going to see from Taysom Hill. Little to no passing touchdowns with 1 or 2 rushing touchdowns, because that is the way he's been playing the entire time that he's been with the Saints. They started the game off, just passing, kind of looking like that Drew Brees pocket passer type. It wasn't working. They switched to what Taysom Hill knows and what Taysom Hill does best, which is running, getting that offense going, giving Kamara a little break so that he's healthier down the line. And look, they won 24-9, 2 touchdowns rushing for Taysom Hill. That's what he is. You know who he reminds me of? Cam Newton, where you're not going to really see him make crazy passes with a lot of yards and throw for 3 touchdowns. No, you're going to see him take control of that offense, work the clock, make safe, quick throws, and take off running when he has to, and at least get 1 rushing touchdown. I mean, all he needs to do is get 3 wins until Drew Brees gets back. And to do that, you got to, continue to do what the Saints have been doing all year, but waste that clock. Keep that clock ticking, at least get in the end zone once or twice, and they'll be fine. So 1-0 as a starter in the NFL And this could open the door for Taysom, even though he's 30. I think the Saints gave him the start to see if he would be able to take over at quarterback once Drew Brees decides to hang it up. Do I think it'd be a smart decision for the Saints to make Taysom their quarterback of the future? No. But I do think it'd be smart to keep him and have a young guy come in to learn the offense and eventually take over, but who knows how all that will take place. So Taysom Hill had a great start yesterday. Finally, let's talk about the Baltimore Ravens. I think it's time for the Ravens to worry just a little bit. They now sit at 6-4 with this season, with 4 losses being the Chiefs, Steelers, Patriots, and Titans. 3 of those teams are teams that the Ravens would have to play come playoffs. And all 6 of their wins are teams that are really nothing special at all. If you go look at it, it's not good teams. Okay, I don't think their defense is really the problem because the defense can only do as much that offense allows them to do. And if the offense isn't scoring, you can't expect the defense to keep you in the game, let alone if the other team keeps scoring and your offense is kind of stagnant. Now, the Ravens' offense needs some work, okay, because they're having a real tough time passing the ball. Lamar is scared to take shots down the field, and he only does so when the receiver is wide open. And now they're using their rookie running back, J.K. Dobbins, more than their veteran running back, Mark Ingram, which is kind of different, but I do see J.K. Dobbins as being a better overall running back than what Mark has actually been, but they still need to put Mark in the mix a little more. This is a bad Ravens offense this year. This team is going to get steamrolled by the Steelers defense this coming Thursday. And then the Ravens will sit at 6-5 and could miss the playoffs. They're actually in the hunt right now. They're not even in the playoff picture. So it's time that they need to sit back and realize that, hey, it's time to win. Okay, win some games. Because right now they sit at 3rd place in their division behind the 10-0 Steelers and behind the 7-3 Browns. The rest of the season depends on what they can do, and if they go to the playoffs, I don't see the Ravens making out of the wild card game. So that is going to end our discussion today, as now we wait for the Rams to take on the Bucs here in a couple minutes on Monday Night Football. So just be ready for that. Anyways, thanks for stopping by. We'll see you tomorrow, and you just got your fix with the Wicks.